ACU1, the save. Some decisions take years to regret, others seconds. My name is Dr. Lily Chen, 34 years old. Emergency medicine physician at Portland General Hospital. 12-hour shifts, 3 nights a week, saving lives in a system designed to let people fall through cracks. I'm good at my job. Too good, my ex-husband used to say, back when he still said anything at all. The night everything changed started like any other. A drunk driver in room 3, a kid with a broken arm in 5, an elderly woman with chest pain waiting for a cardiac workup. Standard Saturday chaos. I was 3 coffees deep and counting the hours until my shift ended when the ambulance call came in. Multi-vehicle accident on Highway 26, single male, late 30s, unconscious, significant head trauma. ETA 4 minutes. I prepped the trauma bay, called for a CT scan, checked the crash cart. When the paramedics wheeled him in, he looked like every other victim I'd seen, bloodied, broken, barely breathing. What's his status, I asked, already moving to assess vitals. Found him pinned under the steering wheel, no ID, no wallet. Car was stolen, plates removed. That happens sometimes. People running from something. I didn't care about his story. I cared about the pneumothorax collapsing his lung and the subdural hematoma that would kill him in minutes if I didn't act. We need to intubate, now. Someone page neurosurg. His eyes opened, just for a second. Dark eyes that locked onto mine with an intensity that made my hands still. You're safe, I said, automatically, the lie we tell everyone. We're taking care of you. He smiled, blood on his teeth. Then his eyes rolled back and the monitors screamed. The next 40 minutes were controlled chaos. Chest tube insertion, emergency craniotomy consult. 4 units of blood. Around minute 20, his heart stopped. We brought him back. At minute 35, it stopped again. We brought him back again. At minute 39, Dr. Rodriguez, the attending on call, put a hand on my shoulder. Lily, we've done enough. Time of death. No. I pushed his hand away, went back to compressions. We can still save him. He's gone. 3 cardiac arrests. Massive brain trauma. Even if we restart his heart, the brain damage. We restart his heart, or I keep going until my shift ends. Your call. Rodriguez sighed but didn't stop me. 2 minutes later, the monitor beeped. Sinus rhythm. Weak but steady. You're insane, Rodriguez muttered, but he called the ICU to prep a bed. John Doe 23 was transferred upstairs in critical but stable condition. I wrote up my notes, downed another coffee, and moved on to the next patient. By the time my shift ended at 7 a.m., I'd forgotten about him. That was my first mistake. I drove home through empty streets, exhaustion settling into my bones. My apartment was silent, had been for 2 years since David moved out. Since he said, I can't compete with your job, Lily. You save everyone except us. I'd told him that wasn't fair, but maybe it was. My phone buzzed, a text from my mother in San Francisco. Call me when you can. We need to talk about Thanksgiving. I deleted it. We'd had this conversation every year since the divorce. She wanted me to come home, meet her friend's nephew who was such a nice doctor, start over somewhere that didn't involve 12-hour trauma shifts. I wanted her to understand that this was my life, my calling, my purpose. We'd been having that argument for 34 years. I fell asleep on the couch, still wearing my scrubs. The second came a week later. I was home, finally off for 3 blessed days, watching the news while making breakfast. The anchor's voice was background noise until I heard. Marcus Hale, wanted in connection with the deaths of 6 women across 3 states was apprehended this morning at Portland General Hospital, where he'd been recovering from injuries sustained in a car accident last Saturday. I dropped my coffee mug. It shattered across the tile. On the screen, a photo of the man I'd saved. Marcus Hale, serial killer. The FBI had been hunting him for 2 years. 6 women dead, all medical professionals. My phone rang, hospital admin, then my supervisor, then a detective from Portland PD named Reeves, who asked if I could come downtown to give a statement. At the precinct, Detective Reeves was younger than I expected, maybe 40, with prematurely gray hair and tired eyes. He sat across from me in a gray interview room that smelled like burnt coffee and regret. "Dr. Chen, you saved Marcus Hale's life." "I saved a trauma patient's life. I didn't know who he was." "Of course not. No one's suggesting you did anything wrong." He paused. "But I need to understand what happened that night." I walked him through it. The accident, the resuscitation, my refusal to call time of death. "You brought him back 3 times, Reeves said, not quite a question. "That's my job." "Your job is also to make judgment calls, to know when to let someone go." "Is that what you think I should have done? Let him die?" Reeves was quiet for a long moment. Then he opened a folder, showed me photos. 6 women, young, smiling, alive in these pictures. Sarah Jennings, 24, EMT. Rebecca Torres, 29, ER nurse. Katie Williamson, 31, paramedic. The list went on. 6 women, ages 19 to 32. All medical professionals, nurses, EMTs, 1 doctor. He targeted people who save lives. And now he's alive because you refused to give up. The weight of that settled over me like a wet blanket. "If I'd known," I started. "But you didn't know. That's the point, Dr. Chen. We never know who we're saving. Sometimes we save monsters." He closed his folder. "Hale's in custody. Maximum security medical ward. He'll go to trial, then death row. You did your job. Try to live with that." But living with it proved harder than I expected. The hospital put me on administrative leave while they reviewed the case. The media got hold of my name. Reporters camped outside my apartment. Online, I became a villain. Doctor saves serial killer. Should doctors have the right to choose who lives? My phone filled with hate messages, death threats. One email simply said, "You have blood on your hands." They weren't wrong. 3 nights into my forced leave, I called my mother. It was 2 a.m., but I knew she'd answer. She always did. "Lily, what's wrong?" "I saved him, Mom. The serial killer. I brought him back 3 times, and now 6 families are blaming me for their daughters' deaths." "You didn't know who he was." "Does that matter?" She was quiet. Then, "When your father died, you were 8 years old. Do you remember what I told you?" "That he was in heaven." "No, before that, when you asked me why the doctors couldn't save him." "What did I say?" I closed my eyes, remembering. My father's heart attack, the emergency room, the doctor coming out with that look on his face. "You said doctors aren't God. They do their best, but sometimes their best isn't enough." "That's right. And sometimes their best is more than enough. Sometimes they save people who don't deserve it. But that's not your responsibility, Lily. Your responsibility is to try." The families don't see it that way. The families are grieving. They need someone to blame, but you're not responsible for what he did before you met him, or what he'll do after. You're only responsible for the moment you had him on that table. And in that moment, you did what you were trained to do. I wanted to believe her, but the hate messages kept coming. 3 days into my forced leave, I got a letter. No return address. Inside, a single page in careful handwriting. "Dear Dr. Chen, I wanted to thank you for saving my life. I know what I am. I know what you must think of me. But in that moment, when I opened my eyes and saw you fighting for me, someone you didn't know, someone who didn't deserve it, I felt something I haven't felt in years. Hope. You looked at me and saw a human being worth saving. No one has looked at me like that since I was a child. You changed me. When I thought I was dying, I felt nothing. When you brought me back, I felt everything. You gave me a second chance I didn't ask for and don't deserve. I intend to use it. Forever grateful, MH. I read it 3 times, hands shaking. Then I called Detective Reeves. He sent me a letter. From jail? That's not possible. All his mail is screened. I'm holding it in my hands. Silence on the line. Then, I'm sending someone to your apartment. Don't touch anything else. Act 2. The letters. 2 uniformed officers arrived within the hour. They took the letter, dusted for prints, asked questions I couldn't answer. How did it arrive? This morning, in my mailbox. Did I see anyone suspicious? No more than usual, given the reporters. Detective Reeves called that evening. The letter didn't come from the prison. Hale's been in solitary since his arrest. No mail privileges, no visitors, except his lawyer. Then who sent it? That's what we're trying to figure out. Dr. Chen, I need you to be very careful. If someone is claiming to be Hale or working for him, you think he has accomplices? We don't know. But serial killers don't usually work alone in this way. Stay alert. Report anything unusual. I double-checked my locks that night. Kept the lights on. Barely slept. The next morning, there was another letter. Dear Dr. Chen, I imagine you contacted the police about my last letter. I understand you're afraid. You think I'm dangerous. And I was. I won't lie about what I've done. But you need to understand. I was broken. The world broke me piece by piece until there was nothing left but rage and the need to make someone else feel what I felt. The night you saved me, I was running. Not from the police. They didn't even know about me then. I was running from myself, from what I'd become. I crashed that car deliberately. I wanted to die. But you wouldn't let me. You fought for me when I'd stopped fighting for myself. Do you understand what that means? For the first time in 15 years, someone cared whether I lived or died. That's why I'm writing, to tell you that you didn't save a monster. You saved a man who was becoming a monster. And maybe, just maybe, there's still time to go back. With respect and admiration, MH, I called Reeves immediately. He arrived with a forensics team. This is escalating, he said, reading the letter with gloved hands. He's building a narrative, trying to make you complicit in some kind of redemption arc. But it's not actually him, right? He's still in custody? Maximum security, 24-hour surveillance. No access to mail, phone, or visitors except his lawyer, who we've thoroughly vetted. This is someone else. We're analyzing the handwriting, checking security footage from your building. What does he want? That's what worries me. Reeves paused, choosing words carefully. Serial killers who focus on specific victims, especially savior figures, they're building towards something. Dr. Chen, I'm going to assign protective detail to your building. You mean police protection? Undercover officer in a unit down the hall, and I want you to consider leaving town for a while. Stay with family. My mother's in San Francisco. It's complicated. Then friends, somewhere he can't find you. I'm not leaving. Reeves's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, frowned. I have to take this. Don't leave the building tonight. Officer Martinez will be here within the hour. He left. I was alone with 2 letters from a killer and the growing certainty that something worse was coming. Over the next week, 3 more arrived, each one more personal than the last. Letter 3 talked about his childhood, abuse, neglect, foster care. I was 8 when Mrs. Harrison broke my arm for getting a B on a spelling test. I was 10 when Mr. Harrison made me sleep in the garage for a week in January. I was 12 when I realized no one was coming to save me. Letter 4 described his victims in clinical detail that made me sick. Not the murders, those he glossed over, but who they were. Sarah Jennings liked to bake cookies for her patients. Rebecca Torres was planning her wedding. Katie Williamson volunteered at homeless shelters on weekends. He'd studied them, learned them, destroyed them. Letter 5 arrived on a Thursday, and it changed everything. Dear Lily, may I call you Lily? I feel like we're beyond formalities now. I've been watching you. Not physically, I'm still locked away, probably forever. But I've been learning about you. You live alone in apartment 4C. Your ex-husband David remarried last year. A teacher named Amanda. They have a baby now. Does that hurt? Knowing he moved on so easily while you're still married to your work? Your mother calls every Sunday at 3 p.m. You never answer. She leaves voicemails about Thanksgiving, about meeting someone nice, about grandchildren she'll never have, because you've chosen saving strangers over building a family. You eat frozen dinners and work yourself sick, because if you stop moving, you have to think about how lonely you are. We're alike, you and I, both running from something, both using our work to avoid facing ourselves. I killed those women because they represented everything I couldn't have: care, compassion, the ability to heal. I destroyed what I couldn't become. But you showed me something different. You showed me that even someone like me, someone who's done terrible things, is still worth saving. So here's my gift to you. I'm going to stop. No more killing, no more destroying. I'm going to spend whatever time I have left trying to be the person you saw when you looked at me in that trauma bay. And I want you to do the same. Stop running. Stop hiding behind your work. Be the person you could be if you weren't so afraid. We saved each other that night, Lily. Now, let's both start living like it matters. Yours, Marcus. Reading it felt like being stripped naked. How did he know these things? About David's baby, my mother's Sunday calls, my pathetic frozen dinners? Detective Reeves's face was grim when I showed him. He's got someone on the outside, someone close enough to observe you. We're increasing surveillance, checking everyone in your building, your neighbors, your coworkers. But Lily, you need to take this seriously now. He's not just sending letters anymore. He's demonstrating power. What do I do? We wait, and we watch. That night, I did something I hadn't done in 2 years. I called David. Lily, is everything okay? I heard about the baby. Congratulations. A pause. Thanks. Amanda and we're happy. I know, I'm glad. I meant it. David, can I ask you something? When you left, you said I saved everyone except us. Did you mean that? Lily, why are you calling about this now? Just answer, please. He sighed. Yeah, I meant it. You're brilliant, Lily. The best doctor I've ever seen. But you give everything to your patients and nothing to the people who love you. I couldn't live like that anymore, always coming second to strangers. Even if those strangers are dying? Even then, because I was dying too, just slowly, and you never noticed. We hung up. I sat in the dark thinking about choices, about the life I'd chosen and the one I'd lost. 2 days later, the killer struck again, Not Marcus Hale. Someone else. A woman named Jennifer Park, 28, nurse at Portland General. My hospital. Found strangled in her apartment. The MO matched Hale's previous victims exactly. Reeves called me at 2 a.m. He's playing games. Hale couldn't have killed her. He's in maximum security, confirmed. But someone is. Someone who knows his methods. He said he was stopping. He lied, or someone's killing in his name. Either way, Jennifer Park is dead. And Lily? His voice dropped. She lived in your building, apartment 7B, 3 floors up. My blood went cold. You need protective custody, tonight. We'll move you to a safe location until... No? My voice was steadier than I felt. If I run, he wins. This isn't about pride. It's about refusing to be a victim. Find whoever's doing this and stop them. But I'm not running. That was stupid, reckless, the kind of decision people make in movies right before they die. But I was tired of being afraid. The 7th letter arrived the next morning, shorter, written in what looked disturbingly like blood-red ink. Lily, I lied. I'm not stopping, I can't. You showed me I'm worth saving, but you didn't show me how to be saved. Jennifer Park was a test. To see if you'd run, you didn't. I'm impressed. Now comes the real game. Tonight, 9 p.m., Jennifer's apartment. Come alone, I'll show you what you created. Yours in darkness, Marcus below. Jennifer Park's address. Every instinct screamed to call Reeves, but something else whispered. If I wanted answers, I had to look at what Marcus wanted me to see. At 8:45 p.m., I drove to Jennifer's building. Police tape was still up, but the officers had cleared out hours ago. I shouldn't have gone in, but I did. And what I found changed everything. Act 3. The Truth. Jennifer Park's apartment was a mirror of mine. Same layout, same single-person furniture, same view of the parking lot. But hers had something mine didn't. A message written on the bathroom mirror in lipstick. She didn't save me. You did. M. I stood there, flashlight in hand, heart hammering. This wasn't just a crime scene. It was a statement. Jennifer's death was personal, because she wasn't me. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, I answered. Hello, Lily. A man's voice, calm, almost gentle. Who is this? You know who. I've been writing to you. You're not Marcus Hale. He's in prison. A soft laugh. Isn't that interesting? You're so sure. Tell me, Lily, when you saved him that night, did you look closely at his face? Or were you too busy being a hero? What are you talking about? The man you saved. The man in that hospital bed. Are you absolutely certain it was Marcus Hale? The FBI identified him. Fingerprints, dental records. Did they? Or did they identify someone they wanted to catch so badly they didn't look too carefully? What if I told you the man in that prison cell isn't Marcus Hale? You're lying. Am I? Then why am I free? Why am I standing outside your building right now, watching your empty apartment, knowing you're not home because you came exactly where I told you to? Terror flooded through me. I ran. Down the stairs, into my car, drove toward my building while dialing Reeves. Lily, what's wrong? Someone just called, claims to be Marcus Hale, says the man in prison isn't him, says he's at my apartment right now. Slow down. Check your prisoner. Make sure he's actually Marcus Hale. Silence. Too long. Reeves? We matched fingerprints and DNA, but Hale has no prior criminal record. His prints weren't in the system before the murders. We matched DNA to biological samples from the crime scenes. DNA can be planted, fingerprints can be faked. Dr. Chen, even if you're right, and that's a big if, Why would someone impersonate Hale? Why let themselves get arrested? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. I drove straight to the prison, demanded to see the prisoner. They refused. Visiting hours were over. I wasn't approved. But I pulled rank, claimed medical emergency, said I needed to verify his identity for hospital liability. At 11 p.m., they let me into the visiting room. Plexiglass barrier, phone on the wall, and on the other side, the man I'd saved. Except he wasn't the man I remembered. Close, yes. Same height, same build, but the eyes were different, sharper. Calculating where the accident victims had been desperate. Dr. Chen, he smiled. I've been expecting you. Who are you? The man whose life you saved. Your real name? He leaned forward. Does it matter? Are you Marcus Hale? I'm whoever you need me to be. Answer the goddamn question. He studied me for a long moment, then, no, I'm not Marcus Hale. I'm his brother, Daniel. The room tilted. His brother? Twins, actually. Fraternal. Marcus got all the charisma. I got all the brains. He killed for pleasure. I killed for art. But the police were closing in, so we made a deal. I'd take the fall, give him time to disappear. And maybe if we were lucky, some brilliant doctor would save me when Marcus tried to kill me in a staged accident. He tried to kill you? Of course. Why keep me alive once I'd served my purpose? Dead brother in prison, real killer free. Perfect plan. But you ruined it. You saved me. And now Marcus is very, very angry. Where is he? Out there, free, because of you. Jennifer Park was his, not mine. A message that he doesn't need me anymore, and a message to you, that your mercy has consequences. Why are you telling me this? Daniel's smile faded. Because I made a mistake. Prison is worse than death. And every day I sit here, I know what Marcus is doing. I can't stop him. Only you can. How? He's obsessed with you. The doctor who saved his brother. The woman who represents everything he destroys. If you want to catch him, give him what he wants. What does he want? You, broken, just like him. Prove that mercy is weakness, that saving people like us is a mistake. My hands were shaking. How do I stop him? You can't. You can only survive him long enough for the police to catch him. And maybe, if you're smart, you can make him make a mistake. Act 4, The Trap. Detective Reeves didn't believe me at first. Then I played him the recording from my phone, the call from Marcus. Then showed him the prison visit video, Daniel's confession. Jesus Christ. He ran his hands through his hair. We've had the wrong man for 2 weeks. And Jennifer Park is dead because of it. We're checking missing persons, unsolved cases. If Daniel's telling the truth about their arrangement, he is. I saw it in his eyes. He's terrified of his brother. Reeves's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, face going pale. What? Another body. Lisa Brennan, 32, physician assistant, Portland General. Found an hour ago in her car. My stomach dropped. Someone I know? You trained her 2 years ago. The walls closed in. Marcus wasn't just killing medical professionals. He was killing my people, people I'd worked with, trained, known. We set a trap, Reeves said. Use you as bait. You can't officially suggest that. No, but if you volunteered, I'm volunteering. You need to understand the risk. I understand, but I want something first. Let me talk to Daniel again. I need to know everything about Marcus, his patterns, his triggers, how he thinks. They let me back in the next day. Daniel looked worse, thinner, haunted. Tell me about your brother, I said without preamble. He was quiet. Then, We grew up in foster care after our mother overdosed. Different homes. Marcus ended up with the Harrisons, wealthy, educated, abusive. They broke him methodically. He described it in clinical detail. The punishments, the isolation, the carefully calibrated cruelty designed to destroy a child's spirit without leaving visible scars. By the time he aged out at 18, he'd learned that the only way to feel powerful was to destroy the things that care, the things that heal. And you? Different family. Kinder. But I watched Marcus spiral. Tried to help. Failed. Eventually became complicit because stopping him would mean losing my only family. But he tried to kill you. Yes, because I started questioning, started suggesting maybe we should stop. So he decided to eliminate me and frame it as police catching their man. Why didn't you tell the truth when they arrested you? Daniel's eyes met mine. Because I deserved to be here. I helped him, covered for him, cleaned up after him. 6 women are dead because I didn't stop him. This is my penance. But more will die if he's free. Yes, which is why I'm breaking that penance to help you. He leaned closer to the glass. Marcus will come for you. Not to kill, not yet. First, he'll try to corrupt you. Show you that saving people like us is a mistake. That mercy is weakness. How do I stop him? You can't, but you can make him overconfident. Make him think he's winning. Then when he gets close, that's when the police take him. That night, Reeves and I planned the trap. We'd leaked to the press that I was returning to work. A memorial shift for Jennifer Park and Lisa Brennan. Midnight to 6 a.m. Alone in the ER. All lies. The hospital was closed for emergency system maintenance. But we rigged it with cameras, plainclothes officers stationed throughout, and me, alone in the trauma bay where I'd saved Daniel. Waiting. But there was something Reeves didn't know. Something I'd figured out reviewing the case files. Every victim had been found with trace evidence of a specific cologne, high-end, expensive. The kind you'd only recognize if you'd smelled it before. I had on Detective Reeves. At first I dismissed it. Lots of men wore cologne, but then I noticed other things. How Reeves always knew details about the crime scenes before forensics reported them. How evidence kept going missing. How Marcus always seemed one step ahead. I didn't tell anyone. If I was wrong, I'd destroy an innocent man's career. If I was right, I needed proof. At 1 a.m., the lights went out. Emergency generators kicked in, dim red glow. "He's here," Reeves said through my earpiece. "Thermal shows someone in the parking garage. Stay calm." Footsteps in the hallway. Slow. Deliberate. Marcus Hale stepped into the trauma bay. Taller than Daniel, broader, with eyes that held no warmth. "Dr. Chen, thank you for the invitation." "I didn't invite you. I set a trap." He smiled. "I know, 17 officers, 11 exits covered, 3 snipers, very thorough. Too bad half of them are about to get a false alarm call about a shooting 3 blocks away." My blood went cold. "What?" "Detective Reeves is very helpful when properly motivated. Did you know his daughter needs a kidney transplant? Experimental procedure, very expensive. I've been funding it, in exchange for small favors." The earpiece went silent, then. "All units, reports of active shooter at Morrison Street. All units respond." I ripped out the earpiece. "You own him!" "I own lots of people, Lily. That's how the world works. Everyone has a price, even you." He pulled out his phone, showed me a video feed. Not my ex-husband and mother like I'd feared. Worse, Reeves's daughter. in a hospital bed, unconscious, and standing beside her, a figure in surgical scrubs. "One call," Marcus said. "And she never wakes up from that surgery, or Reeves cooperates, and she gets her transplant. His choice. What do you think he chose?" "You're a monster." "I'm a pragmatist, and I'm about to teach you a lesson about the cost of mercy. See that nurse in the corner?" I turned. A woman I hadn't seen before was restrained in a chair, tape over her mouth, eyes wide with terror. Her name is Amanda Martinez. She works in pediatrics, has 2 children, very kind woman. Probably reminds you of the people you save every day. He handed me a scalpel. "Here's your choice, doctor. You can save her by killing me. One cut right here." He pointed to his carotid artery. "And I bleed out in minutes. She lives. I'm not killing anyone. Then she dies, and it's on you, just like Jennifer, just like Lisa, just like every other person who'll die because you saved my brother instead of letting him go when you had the chance. The police are gone. It's just us now, you, me, and your precious oath. First, do no harm, but every choice causes harm, Lily. Save me. Harm her. Save her. Harm me. There's no right answer, only the one you can live with." Amanda made a muffled sound, pleading. My hands were shaking. The scalpel felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. "You have 10 seconds. Then I do it myself, and you watch." 9. I looked at Amanda, at Marcus, at the scalpel. 8. Every instinct screamed to save her. 1 life for 1 life. Simple math. 7. But I'd sworn an oath to heal, not to harm. 6. What kind of doctor kills to save? 5. What kind of person lets someone die when they could stop it? 4. My father's face flashed through my mind. My mother's voice. "You're only responsible for the moment." 3. This moment. This choice. 2. I raised the scalpel and slashed his hand instead. The phone clattered to the ground. "Wrong choice!" Marcus lunged. I dodged, grabbed a crash cart, threw it between us, ran toward Amanda. That's when the real police burst in, not Reeves's team. Federal agents, FBI. They tackled Marcus, secured him, cut Amanda free, and handcuffed Reeves as he tried to slip out a side exit. One agent approached me. "Dr. Chen, Agent Sarah Morrison. We've been investigating Detective Reeves for 3 months. Corruption, evidence tampering. Thank you for the tip." "What tip?" "The anonymous call yesterday, about Reeves and the Cologne connection." I hadn't made that call, then I realized Daniel, from prison, his one phone call. He'd been helping all along. Act 5, the aftermath. The trial lasted 5 weeks. Marcus Hale pleaded not guilty. His defense, Daniel was the real killer. Marcus was just protecting his brother. But the evidence was overwhelming. DNA at all crime scenes. Witnesses. Most damning, the video I'd recorded on my phone during our confrontation. Detective Reeves pled guilty to obstruction, bribery, conspiracy. His daughter got her transplant, funded by victim compensation. He got 15 years. Daniel testified against his brother, explained their shared pathology, their arrangement, Marcus's manipulation. In exchange, his sentence was reduced to life, with possibility of parole after 25 years. As for me, the medical board cleared me. The hospital offered my job back, but I couldn't take it. Every time I walked through those doors, I saw Jennifer's face, Lisa's, Amanda's terror. I packed up, said goodbye to a city that would never feel safe again, and moved to rural Montana. Opened a small clinic where nobody knew my history. 6 months later, Daniel sent me a letter. He was dying, liver cancer, stage 4. "I'm sorry for everything, But you did the right thing. You saved a life because that's what doctors do. The fact that the life turned out to be evil doesn't change the nobility of the act. I'm dying now, refusing treatment. My choice. But I wanted to thank you for showing me what it means to fight for someone. You're better than anyone in my family ever was. I cried reading it, wrote back, you said I couldn't stop Marcus. But by saving you, I gave the FBI time to build their case. If I'd let you die, Marcus would still be free. You became the key to catching him. Die peacefully. You've paid enough. He died 3 weeks later. A month after, Marcus sent his own letter from death row. You won. I wanted to break you and you broke me instead. Every day in here I think about that night. About you fighting for my brother like he mattered. Nobody ever fought for me like that. I killed those women because I wanted to destroy what I couldn't have. But you gave it anyway. Care without judgment. Mercy without condition. It's killing me more than any death sentence. I hope you sleep well, Dr. Chen. I hope you never doubt your oath. Some people are worth saving, even me. Even though you shouldn't have. I kept that letter, not as a trophy, as a reminder. 1 year after everything, I'm in my clinic on a Tuesday morning when a new patient walks in. Rough-looking man, maybe 40, smelling of alcohol and cigarettes. Angry eyes. You the doctor? Yes. How can I help? Need stitches. Cut my hand working. I clean the wound. It's deep. Probably needs 10 stitches. As I prep the suture kit, he speaks. You're that doctor, aren't you? The one who saved the serial killer? My hands still for just a moment, then continue. I'm a doctor who saves people, that's all. Even scumbags? Even scumbags? That's stupid. Some people don't deserve saving. I thread the needle. Maybe, but I don't get to decide that. I just fix what's broken. He watches me work. Then, quietly, I'm one of those people, one of the scumbags. I don't care. I hit my wife, been doing it for years. Came here because the ER asks too many questions. My hands don't shake. Then you need more than stitches. You need a therapist. I can give you a referral. What if I don't want help? Then you'll keep hurting people until someone stops you. But that's your choice, not mine. My job is to fix your hand. What you do with it afterward is on you. I finish the stitches, bandage him up, give him the referral sheet. He looks at it for a long time, then pockets it. Maybe I'll call, maybe not. That's your choice, but if you come back next week for a follow-up, I'll be here. He leaves. I don't know if he'll call the therapist, if he'll stop hurting his wife, if I just helped someone who'll go on to do terrible things. But I know this. I did my job. That evening, I call my mother for the first time in 2 years. Lily? Oh, honey, I've missed you so much. I'm sorry, Mom, for not calling, for pushing you away, for choosing work over family. You don't have to apologize. Yes, I do. You were right. I've been running from myself by hiding in my work, and it almost destroyed me. We talk for an hour about Thanksgiving, about her friend's nephew, about rebuilding. When we hang up, I feel lighter. I sit at my kitchen table with a cup of tea and Marcus's letter. Read it one more time, then file it away with all the others. Some decisions take years to regret. Others, seconds. I don't regret saving Daniel Hale. I don't regret the oath I swore. I don't regret fighting for people who didn't deserve it. Because mercy isn't about deserving. It's about being human enough to offer it anyway. And in a world full of darkness, that might be the only light we have.